Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen. The Summit 3 presented by Gigabyte continues today. We've got America and elimination day once again. 2 best-of-3s, but 2 teams going home.
Yep, we'll be down to just, what, 3 teams tomorrow?
I think so. Oh, man, I didn't know there was going to be a pop quiz about the bracket, GoDz.
4. We got the bracket. You can open up. I think, do we have the...
It's the EU bracket. Thanks for throwing me under the
bus. I didn't... That's on me as well as you. Like,
well, we've got the America setup and the Europe setup, but the people sleep sometimes in the America setup. So we're making best with what we've got here. But we've got wheel versus complexity to get things started. This feels like an even matchup to me. I think complexity may be slight favorites. Are there Dota 2 Lounge bets today?
No. What is...
Okay, Inside Dota has taken over.
Oh,
no, there we go. All right. So what do we have?
72%.
72% for wheel.
Whew.
Whoa, I should have put some rares down today. That is Value Town. I don't think it's 72% for either team, but I would say complexity are the favorites. Am I off kilter here? Am I crazy?
I would have said wheel, but complexity have all these stand-ins going. They've only had 3 players who, like Swindle, Z-Freak, and Ziz are the only ones who have been kind of stable on this roster.
Yeah. And God, there's so many Z people. Zizu, and Z-Freak. And Swindle
Melons.
Wow.
Come on, Squee. You got to get the Z in there.
They have been playing with Squee. We should want to start calling him Squeeze a bit. But you're right. I guess that is the stand-in factor. Has this been the same lineup for Wheel? Mike's there. Yeah, this is it. So.
Wheel are more stable. They've been doing pretty well for the most part, apart from that round 1 loss. And I think have looked overall a bit more solid. Complexity, though, yesterday against EG put up some pretty good games. That was... I was surprised that wasn't a more one-sided 2-0 stop. It was 2-0 for EG, but I think game 2, especially Complexity, had a bit of a lead for a lot of it. So I was pretty impressed by Complexity, and as a result of that, I think it's much more 50-50.
Okay. Well, time will tell. I got my fantasy league in the works today. I took Sleesel, I've got Ziz, and I think I might have Swindle Melons as well. This was a hard one for me for these 2 series for my fantasy league. But yesterday, I was not in the top 15. I didn't place in the money, so I lost $1. That hurts. That stings. I'm going to grind my way back.
Yep.
I'm in the 5-cent pool this time. If I'm top like 15, I get 25 cents. So
you're going to win a few of those.
On my way. I know. It's a slow grind. It's a slow grind. I'm afraid to lose too much money. Apparently, I really suck at this. I thought Ziz would be a great choice, but it seems like Sleesel might have been my value town. Wish I could switch now and make somebody else my shot caller.
Well, you got Sleesel at least.
I do have Sleesel at least, yeah.
Ziz has also been putting out the big numbers here, so
that's true. He has been playing pretty well, to be perfectly frank. And Complexity, well, they've got a draft that could get some big numbers. Axelina, there's a lot of kill potential already with these 2.
That's a crazy thing. Like, you never know when an offlane is going to have a big game and get 10+ kills, and then another day they're just going like what we saw Zy do against Aces Polar, where he doesn't bring in the stats even though he plays well. So we'll see what the 2 teams have in mind. So Axelina for Complexity, Earthshaker Juggernaut for Team Wheel. The Sleezel's just, he's a dirty jug troll player. That's what he does. They didn't actually pick the troll, neither team, which is a bit surprising.
Oh my. 4th ban troll, yeah, that's pretty rare. I mean, we saw that Slugfest of the series yesterday, the Secret versus Aces Polar, where troll was, he basically was that series. He won 4 of the 5 games he was in, then was first ban in the final match, and well, I guess just different strokes. Europe versus America. Here you see Omni Knight first banned out and completely ignored in Europe. So there are definitely some key differences there.
Radiant team pick.
But Wheel, going with the Jug Earthshaker, pretty standard opener. We don't see too many teams first pick the Jug anymore. He just doesn't feel like that really high-prized value early pickup, but still a potent hero. And some teams are very comfortable with him.
I think it was a couple of days ago, it's casting Wheel with Dakota, and they were really prioritizing the Jug. Just seems to be Sleezel's main go-to hero, so I guess they'll stick with it. Mike, though, what's he going to be playing? He needs an offlane. He's been playing quite a variety of heroes. Played some Phoenix, played some Morphling offlane. Well known for his Clockwork, his Spirit Breaker. He's got a...
Well known for dying.
Reserve time.
Yep.
I couldn't resist the urge,
I'll confirm.
No, Mike's been playing okay. I got to cast some America a few days earlier, and Mike was holding his own. You know, as he says in real life, at least at Starlight, he said, "I'm a support player." I'm like, well, then why you been playing in the off lane? That's a valid excuse if you're playing support. They just keep putting him in the off lane. Relic, though, that's a player that never seems to disappoint. Complexity, they continue on with the Dazzle. They think about it for a little while. They'll take the Shadow Priest as their first dedicated support. Could be a support Lina, something maybe for Z-Freak, but I think more likely your Swindle hero slated for the mid lane.
Yeah. Okay. So, what do we all want to snag? Probably start looking at. I don't know if they're going to go for their mid right away here. The Zeus is probably one of the nicer heroes to have against a potential
10
Lina
seconds
mid. You
remaining.
can just sit back, spam your Arc Lightning. It's ever so slightly favored Lina matchup, but
5 seconds
a lot of
remaining.
heroes, most heroes Lina just straight up beat your popular Queen of Pains, your Storm Spirits.
Reserve
Yeah.
time.
These heroes kind of struggle against the
Yeah. The nice
Lina.
thing against Zeus is he can just farm pretty well. Even as long as he doesn't die to the Lina, he can still find a lot of last hits. The Arc Lightning spam is very, very irritating. So it's a viable option here if we all want to go for it. Both teams thinking about this quite a bit. Wheel with a very open-ended draft. Earthshaker Jug could really be anything. They could transition into more of a pushing lineup around the healing ward. They could just put Jug on the 1 and look for maybe a carry mid and a more standard off-laner. Let's see. What would they put in the mid lane? I guess Storm Spirit could also be an option. Shadow Fiend, Sniper both banned out already.
Yeah, and they normally like to have Relic more in the playmaker type heroes. So even if Storm or Co-op doesn't match up the best against the Lina, with an Earthshaker on their side, they can offer some support and turn it not so much into a straight up 1v1, catch the Lina by surprise, and maybe even get a kill out of that. So.
Yeah. The Queen of Bane could be a viable pick for either side. I know Z-Freak has done that position 4 QoP a fair bit where he just roams around, works the jungle. And okay, Silencer now
Radiant
for
team
Team
pick.
Wheel.
Huh. Wondering if this not a hero you'd expect to be played as your safe lane support necessarily. It could be going mid, but definitely kind of came out of nowhere here.
Yeah. I mean, they did put a good minute worth of reserve time into it, so they've got some sort of an idea here. A great counter initiator.
10 seconds.
I'm not
remaining.
seeing big your axe gets a blink call off, and yeah, you can silence after that, prevent some of
5
the follow-up
seconds
damage,
remaining.
but in the mid game, chances are the blink call is enough to get that kill. But
Yeah.
I'm wondering if silencer is going to kind of be
Reserve
used to
time.
set up some kind of a 4th pick here.
Yeah, I mean, he's very good against Dazzle. Maybe, what could they be hedging their bets against? Possibly a Phoenix pick if Complexity wanted to run that. Now they certainly would be deterred. That's like the big one that Silencer really counters. I mean, Silence is great against a lot of heroes. Dazzle's a good example. So Silence just really shuts him down, but I don't think you would normally pick a Silencer to counteract that. Here,
Whoa.
Complexity switch it up even more.
Dire
Lone
team pick.
Druid, their 4th pickup.
That's a hero I don't get to see very often. It's kind of fun to see something a bit different. You know, apparently during that Secret versus Aces Polar series, there was only 12 different core heroes picked between the two teams.
Really?
And each game is 6 cores, and there were only 12 different cores the entire 5 games.
There was that little
Yeah.
variety, and that's
It
wow.
was just the same cores. And that's kind of naturally what's going to happen in a best of 5, because you both have your heroes you
10
want, and you just
seconds
stick to your...
remaining.
Both team strats were working so well, they're not going to change their strats.
Yeah.
So...
5 seconds.
It's hearing that
remaining.
stat, I would think, man, that sounds like a pretty boring series. But having cast it, it was
Yeah.
not boring at all. Every
Reserve
single
time.
game was action packed and kind of a nail biter. I guess that's just the nature of a best of 5 series going to the 5th game in general. So, what do Wheel want here? I still have no clue what they're doing with this draft. Earthshaker, they're only stun right now.
Probably want some counter push.
Yeah.
Be a bit worried about the Lone Druid who can just siege towers, the Axe who can be your initiator to jump on any heroes who come to defend. So some kind of...
Yeah. Lone Druid's pretty good
AoE
against the
spam.
Jug. You can entangle him while he's spinning, so that stops his BKB TP type thing. Pretty good in lane as well. Can try and farm against him, deny with the bear, all sorts of stuff you can do there.
10 seconds.
I haven't really seen the
remaining.
Lone Druid pick work out that well. I know EG has done that a fair bit, and it seems
Radiant
kind of
team
lukewarm. Now
ban.
Tidehunter by Team Wheel. Looks like they
Yep.
want to go for some big team fight. The obvious weakness with this draft, though, is cooldowns. If you've got Omni Slash, Global, and Ravage on cooldown, and you don't wipe the other team, you know they've got your number. They're coming for
10
towers, they're coming for
seconds
blood, and
remaining.
a scary lineup if executed properly, but we've seen this kind of
5
style
seconds remaining.
fall out of favor a bit on this patch just because it's easy to punish.
And just on the complexity side, it'll be
Reserve
easier to
time.
get up those core items and get better jumps. Like Axe can farm a bit faster than the Tide, will generally get his Blink Dagger earlier, and be more of a tempo control than a Tide. Once they get the Tide Blink and can fight around that, yeah, they do okay, but normally you need someone else to start the fight off to get people to group up so Tide can blink in afterwards for a Ravage. So it's not really a natural hero to lead the fight with a Blink Ravage, because Axe
Dire
only needs to
team
catch 1 or
ban.
2 heroes. Generally speaking, Axe just can catch 1 with a call, and that's a good way to start a fight. Tide, he needs to catch a lot of heroes in a Ravage for it to be worth blinking in.
And now Complexity, they ban out Queen of Pain with their final. Smart ban here, more team fight that could have worked nicely for Team
10
Wheel, and as we
seconds
mentioned,
remaining.
only a handful of mid laners that really pair against the Lina quite well.
5 seconds
Wheel, what do
remaining.
they ban out here? The Undying. Oh, okay.
Radiant team
Probably, I think
picked.
it was yesterday against EG. There was an Undying one game for complexity.
Mm.
And then you get some kind of cheesy 5-man push going with the Lone Druid, Dazzle, Undying Tombstone to offer some protection as well.
Okay, I could see that being scary.
So instead, you could get something like a Jakiro here maybe, but needs quite a few levels in the Liquid Fire before you can really push.
10 seconds remaining.
Complexity. Thinking about this final choice. Well, there's supports that
5
synergize
seconds
well
remaining.
here. I don't know. What comes to mind? I guess
Reserve
AA,
time.
never a bad choice against the Jug.
10
I
seconds
think something with
remaining.
a relatively spammable ult. That's what they have right now. Pretty low
5
cooldowns.
seconds
Zeus
remaining.
is great if they want to stop the Tide Blink, scout
Okay.
him out.
Dire
But look at
team
Chen.
They go with Chen. So still a lot of pushing power on this team, and some nice heal as well. Z-Freak hero that he's quite good on. He's their micro jungle type guy. So should be interesting. A pretty well-rounded draft, I think. A lot of pushing power, some great mid-game team fight. You've got Lina there for that little bit of magic damage, so you can still cut people down if they want to go for Ghost Scepters or something like that. I like it.
And I think, yeah, they will be kind of pressuring a lot
10
of
seconds
the outer
remaining.
towers early on, trying to get a bit of a gold lead off of that, and then when they have
5
the faster
seconds
blinks,
remaining.
Lina's going to be kind of out farming people. You can find a lot of easy pickoffs using these two. It's Wheel who go for the Zeus. Looks like that will be their mid lane, I imagine, for Relic. Talked a bit about how this hero can match up better
think
than
so.
some others against Lina in the mid lane. Won't need the support
Mm-hmm.
as much there to help him out.
Yeah, he can at least farm pretty well. You should expect this Zeus to have quite a few last hits and keep up with the Lina for the most part. And that'll open up the Earthshaker to make sure the Jug stays safe and, more importantly, work that jungle. Get some stacks going on, and him and the Silencer should do pretty well. I just worry more about the ultimate issue for Team Wheel. Now you've got this Zeus ultimate and falls into a similar situation where they need to make every team fight count. If Complexity can kind of break even in team fights when Wheel uses their big ultimates, that's going to be a win for
Prepare
Complexity,
for
and then they'll
battle.
be able to follow up with these follow-up fights when their ultimates are coming back online and Wheel are just not prepared for it. So this is sort of an ease of execution battle, I guess, where I would say Complexity have a pretty big advantage.
It's once you get your basic items and start sieging towers, pushing them down one by one. There's not. I mean, there are things that can go wrong if we'll get it for a really nice initiation.
Oh, absolutely. It's not a total out draft. We'll just have to play this very well and make sure they don't give Complexity too much room to recover in between team fights.
I like the complexity draft a bit more in general. The silencer pick seemed a bit odd, but GoDz has been playing some kind of unconventional heroes on that support role. But as far as who he's going to be kind of countering, I guess you can kind of interrupt the Lina combo a bit with the ultimate, but not really a clear, obvious hero choice for this game. Pure damage on the
30
glaives,
seconds
not
to
bad for
battle.
zoning out an axe in that offlane, but we may
Yeah.
even see the Dazzle go up there with the axe if Complexity want to kind of secure his farm.
It's cute. The pure damage early on is it's annoying, but honestly, I mean, that's the reason they picked the hero. I don't know, man. It's interesting, though. Z-Freak not on the Chen. He'll be on the Axe here, headed to the off lane. Swindle will take the Lina mid. That puts their stand in here that I'm not as familiar with. Zizu or Zizao on the Chen, and then that leaves Squee here on the Dazzle and Ziz on the Lone Druid, who will be the safe lane farmer.
So Zizu is a Romanian player. He
Really?
used to play on some like old school Dota 1 teams with like fully Romanian squads with I don't know if he played with Bone 7, but he played with like Come With Me and a few of these other like old school known Dota 1 players. There was a team called like TEG, the Elder Gods.
Oh,
But
okay.
recently played like when they had the WCG tournament or IESF, he played for Team Romania.
Oh, interesting.
But he's kind of I'm just surprised to see him playing with complexity of all teams because this is America. But
Yeah, he's on the other side of the world. I mean, they were playing with Fly the other day as well, who's also on the
Okay.
other side of the world. So I guess not opposed to having a member of their team with some ping issues. And even further evidence, I guess, interesting to see him on Shen. I guess not as micro-intensive as some other heroes. Maybe initiating with Axe is a little bit worse on high ping. We'll see how he fares. Dire side, Mike will be in the off lane on the Tide. No surprise there. Relic takes the Zeus mid. Derp already in the jungle, stacking and pulling, doing all that good stuff with Sleesel on the Jug, and then GoDz here on that support silencer. He did go last word level 1. Z-Freak, as we saw the other day, playing this off-lane Axe. Not afraid to get aggressive, and even if it means costing him his life, he'll fight for any little bit of farm he can get, any kind of experience. He does tend to play a little more of an ice kind of style, like we talked about.
Got a lot of early creeps coming under his tower, though, so he should be able to get some good XP off of this. He's even pushing forward here with the spins and doing, like you say, getting aggressive, doing some good damage if he can, although right now he's taken more than he's dealt. But
Sleece will get a little too close to that tower. Actually gets him down decently low, but tons of regen on Wheel. You've got 7 tangos on the Jug, and GoDz, he's got 2 tangos left. Z-Freak running low on tangos, and now just has 1 healing cell. Not quite as healthy as he once was. Now gets blocked out. Is this Fissure going to meet up for a first blood? He turns on, pops that Berserker's Call. He will be the victim of the first death. And it's Sleece that gets the first blood on the Jug.
Yeah, it's that kind of Z-Freak death where he gets some damage done and will get everyone a bit low. No more mana for a Jug spin. Earthshaker out of mana until he pops a Clarity, but he will come back top lane, but give it another minute or so and they can look to do the same thing with that Fissure. So it only really helped him out so much in this lane.
And checking in on Mike here in the off lane. He's only got 1 last hit himself. Both off laners struggling a bit, though. At least Mike has found his level 3. No ancient stacks yet, but I'm sure they'll come in due time. Chen, looks like he just tried to smoke mid, but didn't work out. It's on cooldown now. Does have another one stored up. Only level 2 for now, but he's picked up a Centaur, so...
Earthshaker scouted out. It was a nice positioning from Derp. He just came near the mid lane, scouts out the Chen smoke, and I mean Chen can't solo kill him, so gets out pretty safely. Derp's been really good on this Earthshaker. I think he played it both games in their last win in the round 1 of the lower bracket, and they're just first picking it because of how much he can help out all 3 lanes as needed. While stacking camps, he's got a triple stack now in the jungle.
Yeah. Probably for the Tide Hunter to recover on. I guess Zeus may help him out most of the XP, but there's some recovery waiting for Mike in the jungle. Squeeze been very aggressive down bottom, though, coming around and putting as much pressure on Mike as he can, making sure he doesn't get near that creep wave, and Lone Druid, as a result, is getting uncontested free farm, keeping up with the Jug for the most part. What's he got already? Nothing. 1,300 gold on Ziz, so still a lot of options. Could see a Midas this game if they want to push and siege in the mid game. That Maelstrom, Basher, AC kind of a build is pretty strong. Haven't really seen that Radiance Rush build anymore, but I guess if you're left uncontested long enough, if you can grab a relic by 12 or 13 minutes, then hey, why the hell not?
Yeah, you're good if you want to have a way to stop some of these initiators, like mostly the Tide with his Blink initiation. You can scout him out with the Radiance Bear, but I think going more like Midas, Maelstrom type build is going to be the more standard way nowadays, which is kind of the opposite of what it used to be, where the standard was the Radiance.
Yeah. The Radiance is just too much of a gamble. You have to hold all that unreliable gold, and Lone Druid's pretty easy to gank when he has no items besides boots.
So Chen's running around a bit lost here, not getting too much done in this jungle. See what he can find here, if he can make much more use out of this next smoke gank.
Yeah, he is still only level 2. Maybe the Centaur camp will be enough for him to grab level 3. Not the best ganking creeps right now. Tide moves into the Radiant jungle, looks for the easy camp, and he'll find a little bit of farm there. Let's see what other creeps does Chen have. There's a Hellbear Smasher he could pick up, and he could go double Hellbear. Could grab a Satyr as well. So some options for him here if he does want to start ganking.
Yeah, he's just kind of low level. Normally, either your Chen will farm a lot, play that kind of AUI style where you're at 5 minutes in, you're level 5, level 6, you farm your stacks. He's got a triple stack he's about to get, but this has been, I guess he tried to go for the smoke ganks, and when you go for the ganks and they don't succeed, that's when you really fall behind, and that's what we're seeing here from Zizu. But he'll catch up a bit with this triple stack.
Yep. And there we go, utilizing this Wild Wing quite nicely. The power of the Tornado. Courier flying down. There's the Midas recipe for the Lone Druid, so we will have somewhere about a 530 Midas. Some solid timing there, about what you would expect of a Lone Druid in this situation. Z-Freak still struggling in the off lane here. Only 2 last hits, so even though he's been pretty aggressive, he's still doing a good job putting pressure on him. And oh, as we're looking at that, Lina dies mid. There's that ultimate from Zeus. Set up from Derp to find another kill. That'll make it 2-0. Wheel pulling ahead.
Yeah, right as Zeus gets 6, you just jump in and catch the Lina by surprise, and that's why you kind of use this Earthshaker. It's just you never know where he's going to show up. And if you're Lina, you think, okay, Zeus has got this full combo, he's not going to get the solo kill, but with one Fissure, that changes everything.
Yep. And it wasn't even some crazy blockout Fissure either. It's just that long-range stun that you see coming out of the fog. Also nice that it coincides with nighttime when Zeus finds level 6, so even less of a chance that Earthshaker will get scouted out.
Relic now make him move towards bottom lane. He picked up the rune. Does get scouted that he took the rune, but he's going to show up bottom. De-ward this lane ward. Nice bit of play from Relic, and then he'll just head back mid. He's like, okay, they know I'm bottom, and I'm probably not going to find a kill, but I've already taken out a newly, freshly planted ward, which will deny some vision from him.
And they still make good use of the time. Derp rotates mid and leeches just a little bit of XP, gets a little closer to level 4, and as some more wards get delivered. Good movements from Wheel around the map here. Now the Arcane Boots come out onto Zeus. Swindle, though, he'll be able to bottle up a double damage rune. Also level 7. A lot of kill potential on this Alina now. See if he tries to make a move with it.
Hard for him to get the initiation himself unless he can like find a cheeky spot where he can come out from fog, but he's scouted out by this dire ward, so
2 dire wards actually. Look at this. They've got full vision of this whole river area here.
This is why this game's hard for Lina. He's got no setup Swindle Medlins. He's going to go about it himself and just start rotating around, but if he's getting spotted by wards, it doesn't work. Maybe he tries to smoke up with someone like the Chen, but until Axe gets a Blink Dagger, he's the only one with kill potential.
Yeah, and that's still a ways off. Axe is still 0-1 and 0, only 3 last hits, only level 5. I guess he is getting some okay XP on point with the Tide, but both of them just have so little farm to go around.
Just a lot scarier on the dire side where it's your Zeus or your Juggernaut with kill potential, and Jug can solo kill, Relic could theoretically solo kill, and then you have a roaming Earthshaker who also sets up kills. So they've got kind of 3 playmaking heroes on the Radiant side. It's really just the one.
Now they'll pressure bottom tier 1 tower. Tide just hanging behind for now. See the Spirit Bear tanking the tower exactly the way you want to do it. Even Dazzle now joining the party to try to poke Mike. They'll use the glyph, and this tower will fall. But as we're looking at this, thinking they might initiate on Tide, Swindle gets a return kill in the mid with that double damage. Does bring down the Earthshaker. So now we'll rotate down bottom, and Complexity, they might just keep this push going. Oh my gosh, Parker, I just missed a kill on Axe up top as well. Down bottom. I keep thinking they're going to jump on this Tide, but Mike is just playing back too far.
Keeping an eye on Mike as well. He's positioned well, but at the same time, there's nothing he can do about this push. Complexity is just brute forcing their way down this bottom lane, getting their team a nice good chunk of gold. And this is what their draft is kind of designed to do. Push down these towers. The Chen, the Lone Druid, the Dazzle heals, and Tier 2 gets glyphed as well. Now come the additional TPs. Earthshaker as well as Zeus.
Yeah,
looks
now
like
that
this will
Zeus
end
is here. They'll clean it up. Tide is level 6. He's out of mana, though. We'll get a deny on that Hellbear Smasher there. Ooh, okay. Thought Lino was going in up top. Great push from Complexity, though. Not only do they almost kill a Tier 2 tower, but they force out the glyph again. So now whichever tower they want to push next, whether it be a Tier 1 in mid or top, or just go back into that Tier 2, there will not be that reset card for Wheel. Though there will also be a Ravage next time, so they're never going to find a push quite that easy in this game.
Yeah, Mike's got a lot of XP out of it, so it'll give Complexity a good chunk of gold kind of to go their way, but they haven't even pulled ahead on net worth despite pushing 2 quick towers. Just the fact they were grouped up so much is not really efficient for their farm. Experience-wise, they're actually doing okay, but yeah, the gold lead is not even there. It's Wheel who are just generally farming the lanes a bit better. Jug's top of the CS chart, well ahead of the Lone Druid because he hasn't been pushing his lane, just getting the free farm and the jungle farm. And I don't really see those 2 towers as really turning the tides in favor of Complexity. They need to keep doing this. They need to get the towers at mid, then the towers at top, and Lone Druid needs to get those like early game fighting items to just come online as fast as possible.
Yeah. 1 to 3. Complexity will just continue farming away. Chen still struggling in the jungle. Z-Freak has now taken over some of these camps. He's got his Tranquil Boots now, so he can start farming. Zizu now, okay, he's level 5, working on that mech, has the buckler, and just a satyr for now, but his jungle is completely cleared out. And this is now the big bottleneck for the Chen, is having to share with the Axe, as there's really nowhere else for Z-Freak to farm at this point. Looks like he will try to stack up some Ancients here, but even that's not going to agree.
Speaking of Ancient stacks, Mike's gets the 5 stack now, I believe.
2 Drakes, 3 Lizards, is that what it looks like here?
That's what I'm counting.
Ooh, my.
A lot of farm for him. Not farming it just yet. He's probably wants his level 7. Just the 2 points in Kraken and 3 in Anchor Smash. Probably not quite enough. Luckily for him, no Granite Golems as well. Makes it that little bit easier to farm this.
Yeah. Z-Freak, though, finds an invisibility rune. Looks like they want to put it to use in the mid lane with a kill. Derp, if he ventures just a little further forward. Z-Freak knowing exactly how close he can get to this tower, and it's probably just about right here. He's pretty close to the edge.
They scouted the Invis room with the Observer Ward, though, so should be hugging their tower a bit, or at least throwing Zeus Lightning Bolts to scout for that Invis hero. And yeah, they'll throw the Lightning Bolt. They actually see the Sentry now mid lane as well, and they'll see there's no Axe there.
So Z-Freak now trying to catch someone else off guard. Might be able to find himself a courier here. Shroomy cruising on in.
Oh, he didn't make it on the way out. No, he misses it.
That was pretty close. Now it goes in on to GoDz, though. He's got some creeps nearby. Does take some damage. Berserker's Call comes out. Not quite in dunk range yet, but still this Battle Hunger making it very easy. Dragon Slave comes in, and that's a kill for the Axe. Now the cavalry has arrived. Laguna on to Derp as he TP's in. A quick 2 for Complexity coming out ahead. Jug runs in thinking, I've got an Omni Slash. Actually, never mind. I don't think I want to do that. And he'll just go right back to farming. Very unfortunate for your Earthshaker there, but good read from Swindle. See the TP in and just bring him down.
Yeah, that was smart play from Swindle. Especially he had the movement speed and the attack speed aura from the Axe dunk, the Culling Blade, so he knew if he needed to back off quickly, he can check who's TPing anyways, and he knows he has that quick, easy kill on the Earthshaker. There's no global silence to worry about as well, since Silencer was dead. And just smart play. They get another secondary kill, and they're going to stick around this top lane, maybe look for some more. Dazzle off near the mid lane getting some farming levels, and Lone Druid's still at bottom. He's picked up a Gloves of Haste, so possible Maelstrom coming out with this. And
all right, there's your Yules on Lina. Also, 12 minutes in, things starting to come together a little bit for Complexity.
Just missing that Axe Blink, so it's not going to be a particularly fast timing on the Axe Blink, despite having 3 towers down on the map, but it doesn't feel like it's going to hurt them too much. It's not like they need it right now because they're brute forcing towers. Chen gets Omni Slash near the top river, and Sleazel, not enough, doesn't. Some of it gets soaked up by the Chen creeps, it looks like. And
yep, a good bit of it gets soaked up. And unfortunate for the Jug. The power of the Chen, though, this early on, just having all those units on the field. Any other hero there, that is a sure kill.
I guess one of the other kind of nice reasons to pick the Chen into the Juggernaut as their last pick we didn't talk about is the ability to tank the Omni Slash. Hard for Jug to kind of fight into that. Just 5-man death ball push with a Chen 2, which we've seen take a few Towers raids. 3 kills apiece, but both teams kind of very different strategies. Complex are going to look to keep on pushing 5-man towers, and we're going to be looking to use their team fight around these big ultimates.
Yeah, and Mike actually not going for the fast Blink Dagger. He wants a mech. He'll buy the recipe, gets the headdress, and the rest of this Ancient stack will get actually pretty close to the remaining pieces here of the Buckler. Interesting, though. You don't see the mech on Tide too often these days, mostly because of mana issues, I feel like. Tide already has some issues on that front. Mech is not a cheap item in terms of mana cost. But it still gives you great team fight, and there really isn't anyone else who would want to farm it here. So we'll slow down his Blink Dagger, but we'll allow Wheel to team fight just a little more easily.
He's got the completed mech as well, so I guess it's something where he can maybe offer a bit more when he doesn't have Ravage as well. If you have a Blink and your Ravage is on cooldown, and that's something where Complex is going to keep on pushing constantly, you're very limited by that. Lina comes in, kills the Juggernaut at top.
Caught that one and makes space in the mid for the tower to fall. Ziz will get the kill there. Global Silence comes out just a little bit too late. Chen already used the all heal, and that'll top everyone off. They survive through it, and Dazzle
a Ravage, but
keeps throwing out the healing waves, yeah.
Swindle may set things up, has a Yule Scepter, but there's counter stuns on the way.
Yep, no ultimate here. Swindle maybe just a little bit too brave. His team doesn't quite seem to be on the same page. Will go down to the last word. Now Ravage comes out, connects on 2. Squee as well as Zizu. Zizu will not live through it as Zeus zaps him down. Now Squee has a shallow grave. It will be enough to actually live here. It won't. Silencer finds the kill. And what started as a great little skirmish there for Complexity quickly backfires. Now they trade 1 for 3 around the map, and frankly, it didn't seem like they were all on the same page there. Swindle went in by himself. The rest of his team like, oh, you're going in? Okay, let's try it. And by the time they started to react, Swindle was basically dead.
Yeah. The rest of the team had the right idea. Let's not run into Fissure plus Ravage, but
yeah. Well, and plus he didn't have a Laguna either. That's the other thing. He had just used it up top. It's a short cooldown, but I'm pretty sure it was still on CD when he ran in like that.
That was, yeah, I think it was still on cooldown as well, so not the best play. He almost lived too. He got the Chen. The nice bit of synergy between the Chen and Dazzle is if you grave someone and get the send back from the Test of Faith, it's almost like a guaranteed send back. So he had the send back on him, but the Dazzle was like 100 range away from getting the grave off.
Just the level 1 grave with 3 points in the Shadow Wave, so it is very low range on this 5
Getting scouted out by the bear, but
they need to go in quick. Sleazel doing a lot of damage. Gets bashed by Roach. Roach maybe gives Ziz the time he needs to get into the pit. He will. Who's going to find the last hit, though? Sleazel taking a lot of damage. The stun from Lina. It'll get killed by the Radiant, but snatched by IX Mike on the Tidehunter. Sleazel falls. Mike goes down as well. That'll be your Aegis coming back up. He's got no Ravage for another minute, so I think they should be able to just kill him again. No Blink Dagger either. Does some good damage to Squee, but Poison Touch comes out. They'll chase him down. Meanwhile, on the other side, Goody. He gets slammed, dunked by the Axe. Mike set up in the Yules, followed up by an LSA. They'll have to keep chasing him down, though. That Kraken Shell makes him a little bit tough, but there's the bear. There's Z-Freak, and this Watermelon's going to get chopped up. Down he goes, and now this Tier 2 tower gets denied by Derp. But what a fight from Complexity. Quite explosive.
One Roche Bash, all it took to stop Sleazel from finishing off Roshan, and they popped the Blade Fury as well, which I think maybe got rid of his Mask of Madness, but he lost a lot of his attack speed during that end. Just wasn't able to bring down Roshan during it, was just using it very defensively. So Complexity come out on top, and now for the kind of pull ahead. They've been a bit of tipsy-turvy. Hasn't seen either team take a big lead yet this game. About 2,000 net worth go in the Radiant side's favor, and they've got that Maelstrom completed back at base. They've got their mech now on the Chen, and that's where their core items are starting to come up and cause some problems for Team Wheel.
Yeah, the Yules on Lina has already been kind of frustrating to deal with, and getting close to that Aghanims. More than halfway there with 1,000 in the bank, and the point booster already in tow. Looking at the Dire side, Silencer did end up going for a Hand of Midas, and already has that Oblivion Staff. Looks like GoDz here wants to rush a Refresher, and making some good progress towards it at only the 17-minute mark. Blink Dagger on the Zeus and Jug. He's got this core kit now, the Phase Boots, Aquila, Mask of Madness, the Yasha. Great value items for this stage in the game. And well, even though they failed in that Roche fight, Jug is still a force to be reckoned with and farming pretty damn well.
Yeah, Sleazel's really good on these type of heroes as far as finding his farm and keeping up. But we'll have his work cut out for him. It's not going to be a game suited for a Jug once Complexity decide they want to group up and push even more. Swindle's more than halfway to his Aghanim Scepter, but I don't know how many of these items they're going to wait for. I guess they have not got any Aegis on their side, so maybe a bit more reluctant to go for those pushes, especially with the Ravage online. But they can still try and find the quick pickoffs and then turn things into it. It's like a pickoff and then push. With the Blink Axe and the Lina Laguna, they've got a lot of quick burst potential for one hero.
Relic farming the jungle here. Is it going to be scattered out? Relic also went for a Hand of Midas also. That's double Midas on the Dire side. Singleton on the side of Complexity, just as is on that lone Druid, the one that's picked it up.
I'll take that as
Sort of an interesting mix of items here. He does get the Maelstrom, and now he's got a Basilius and just the Ring of Regen. I wonder if that was intended to be Tranquil Boots or something.
Possibly a Vlad's later on.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
He bought these before the Maelstrom though, so I was like, oh, he's not going straight for the Maelstrom.
Some value regen items, I guess.
Yeah, the Vlad's for the 5-man push is going to be good, but I think maybe he's even realized, okay, we're not going to go for the 5-man push right now. We didn't get the Aegis. Let's get a farming item in the Maelstrom, and then he can go back for the Vlad's or some other direction. He's picked up a Chainmail, so what is this? Chainmail, Ring of Protection? I'm not even sure.
I think he's going to break the Bassi, go to Tranquil Boots, and then pick up a Medallion. I think that's what the plan is here.
Or, yeah, it's either that, or he wants the Tranquil Boots for sure, I think, but it may just be,
or it may just be Vlad's.
AC with the Chainmail.
Yeah, that's true. Could also just be Vlad's AC, go full aura here, hang on to the Bassi for now. I don't know, an interesting way to build up these items. All pretty small ticket stuff, but just an odd trajectory. Sleazel, ooh, getting hunted down by an invisible Swindle. Tempted by the Ancients here, but Sleazel will move back to safety.
Just some extra armor that doubles the armor with the Chainmail on the Spirit Breast. It helps it tank up a bit more in the front lines. And there we go. They're grouped up now, feeling confident this is the time where they can try find those pickoffs.
Oh, Swindle, he's scouting it out. He sees 3. The bear goes cruising on in. Swindle body blocking a little bit. Invisibility Rune about to expire. Goes in on the Derp, but Global Silence is there. Now on the backside, Sleazel gets off the Omni Slash. Big damage. Gets the kill on Ziz before Zizou can use the ultimate. Now Squeedo taking a lot of damage. Will get off the Shallow Grave. Ravage to follow up. Now Complexity in some trouble. They lost their Silencer, but now Z-Freak falls. Swindle goes down as soon as the Yules expires. It's just Zizou left alive, and not for long, Parker. Chen's on the run, but with only brown boots, there's only so much you can get done. Oh boy, a 1 for 5 Team Wheel erupting here in a blaze of glory.
Fight around the big ultimates, and Wheel will have their way. They hit the Ravage they needed. The Global Silence into Omni Slash as well, killing off the Lone Druid, not being able to keep him alive. Not sure. I need like a defensive weave to start things off here, and just Lone Druid just needs to tank up there. And the other big problem was the Invis Lina, who scouted everything out, couldn't get that quick burst damage onto the Earthshaker. You could have come out of the Invis, killed the Earthshaker before he cast the Fisher, but Swindlemelons was just a bit kind of too cautious there. And by the time he went in, like he threw a Dragon Slate, but he didn't get a Laguna or stun off. He got silenced, and that was that. Needed to try and, get the quick burst, force out a Global Silence rather than let Wheel get the initiation with the Omni Slash Global themselves.
Yeah, you're definitely right. You're trying to get maybe just a little too greedy waiting there in the invisibility when he could have just dropped the Laguna right away and made that fight a little bit easier. Now Z-Freak in the mid lane, venturing too far forward as Sleazel with a double damage rune comes in. Dazzle has a weave, and that's enough to repel the Jug, at least for now. And this Jug is getting a bit scary. 4,000 gold on Sleesel right now. So hasn't invested in anything, but boy, is he getting rich.
Yeah, this is big farm for Sleesel. He's top of the net worth. Zeus not far behind him. Relic. Maybe see like a Bloodstone build from him. With the arcane boots that you can break down, has been kind of a popular item for Zeus. Other options is you go for like your Ags Refresher type play, but Bloodstone seems like a pretty solid choice here with the Soul Ring arcane boots already up.
Tower is under attack.
Swindle Melons closing in on that Aghanim Scepter. 2,500 gold on him. So not a bad place to be right now. His farm, fourth overall net worth, but still holding his own. After that last fight, Wheels actually dethroned their leading farmers, and now it's Jug sitting on the top. It will be Complexity smoking out, moving into the dire jungle.
Oh, what are you doing, Dazzle?
Oh, Ziz on the low ground here. Did Dazzle just auto attack something?
Yeah, he attacked that. He attacked the illusion out of smoke.
Oh no.
He attacked it, and then Lina like used it. And I mean, Lina wasn't attacking. Like everyone was running, and then the Dazzle just decided to attack. But bit of a misplay.
He should, or pardon me, Wheel should be pretty aware of this smoke. It is about to expire, but Z-Freak in a very forward position gets revealed as he's on the high ground. And it looks like they will be able to claim an uncontested tower. Wheel doing this right, waiting for their ultimates to come online, and they do have Ravage Global once more. Only one outer tower remaining for this dire side.
Scout things out with the Zeus ultimate. See whether Complexity kind of faked back, whether they're actually backing off to get farm on the other side of the map, and also just whether it's safe for Sleesel to push down bottom lane, which it's more than safe to do so. Mike's waiting in the trees if he's needed, but he'll get the tier 1 tower there.
Has fallen.
Okay. Z-Freak now with the Blade Mail. Finding item progression, wants to initiate onto Goody here, but just a little too far away. Good positioning from the Silencer, and he'll stay far enough back that he doesn't get initiated on. Bear just tanking up this tower in the mid, and it'll fall pretty quick if Wheel don't want to defend this. I don't know if they actually want to glyph a tier 2.
It makes sense Sleesel back bottom if they're going to 5-man the mid lane, and they can give up the mid tier 2 if Sleesel can get some more towers at bottom where there's a decent creep wave. But here comes your TP from Lone Druid, so be fine for Wheel to push out the mid lane, even try and take a fight or catch some stragglers here who haven't backed off with the Lone Druid.
Yeah, Mike did not go for the Blink Dagger. Instead goes Force Staff first item, pulling up some more gold. Well, not first item, first mobility item, I guess I should say. Interesting. I think he definitely could have farmed a Blink. I mean, there's more than enough gold for it now.
Slightly nicer build up, and I guess you can help out your teammates a bit more with this.
True.
If they get caught out, but
I guess he didn't have it in the last fight. Was still able to get off a good Ravage, so.
Just waddled in, and you know, LD on his fantasy draft, he pulled out Mike and made him his shot caller.
Are you serious?
He believes in the IX, the power of the star.
That is YOLO. You know, I spent a good 5 minutes contemplating whether I wanted Mike in my draft. He's pretty cheap. He could be a value pickup. In this game, he is. He's 0-1-7. That's pretty solid.
Assists are pretty much as good as kills. It's like 1.6 points instead of 2 points.
Yeah. So it's
you can't just look at like the kill to death ratio. You gotta mix in the assists there. So
yeah. Yeah. I was
Mike's
not brave enough to take Mike in this draft though.
He's looking pretty good.
I did take Sleesel and Relic, so I'm still feeling pretty good.
Yep. Relic
in particular, 4-0-5, having a great game on this Zeus. He now has a Bloodstone to go with his Blink Dagger, by the way.
Yeah, even 130 last hits. He's cashing in on your Vulcan draft. Sleesel going to get caught out. The Blink calls there. He can't go for Blade through Manta style, and they'll burst him down, even with the global. Actually, a bit late on that. Could have maybe kept him alive if you stopped the Laguna.
Ooh, that's a big win for Complexity. The high-value target as well as a global on cooldown.
Under attack.
Beauty's still pretty far away from his refresher, and seeing that, Complexity will group up in the mid lane, and they gonna push. Tier 2 tower, that last one remaining. Now Z-Free catches Mike. Pops on that Blade Mail, finds him in the Berserker's Call, but Mike's just too tanky. That Kraken shell really helping him out. Now Ziz will cut him off from the high ground. Follow-up damage, LSA is there. The slam dunk from Z-Free. Now the chase is on. He'll try to connect onto Goody here. Doesn't have a call for another 3 seconds or so, but the movement speed buff is all they need to push Wheel back towards their base.
It's kind of going in 1 by 1 there. I guess the tie kind of got caught out after the Jug did, but we'll slow things down. Relic snipes the axe on the way out. Nice bit of individual play there. Blinked in though, and now he's in trouble. He may get caught out here. There's a Yule Scepter into a stun, and Relic thrown up in the air.
3 seconds on the Laguna. If they can bring him down low enough, Swindle might be able to find this kill. Can he end the streak of Relic? He can. That's a mega kill down, but on the other side of it, Complexity take out the tier 2 tower mid, and they get a consolation kill on the Earthshaker as well.
Oh, you're hot.
My, oh my. Things really coming together for Complexity. Another great string of initiations, and they'll pull further into the lead. Actually, back into the lead. Wow, Wheel had a...
Just started with the pickoff on Jug from there. With the global on cooldown, Wheel want to avoid fighting at all costs. They tried to get a bit cutesy there with the Zeus going out for a pickoff. If he gets the kill, gets out, it's a nice play, but he gets caught out, Mike gets called out, they lose all their cores, they lose their Earthshaker. Lone Druid now has the money for, has the Assault Caress getting flown out. And Complexity, their 5-man is getting pretty scary. They've maybe got a better team to take Roshan. I guess Wheel have got that scary big team fight with the Ravage, Zeus ulti, Global Silence, which is up in 20 seconds, but Roshan is going to be what both teams are eyeing off for the next few minutes.
Yeah, this Assault Karas would certainly make a difference, and just the general sieging, helping out in these team fights. The Bear starting to hit fast with a Maelstrom plus his new Karas. Roche been scattered out by the Jug Illusion, so we'll have confirmation. Have Complexity actually walked into the pit, yo? Or yeah,
They sent a Lina Illusion.
Oh, okay. So they both sides have the confirmation. Yeah. All right. Who will be the first to venture in there? I feel like if Wheel have all their ultimates, they shouldn't really be too afraid to take a fight in the Roche pit.
Yeah, this is going to be a smoke from them. I don't know if they... I think the maybe safer plays you normally try to find a pick-off before falling back to Roshan, but yeah, they could go straight for it. No good scouting tools on the Complexity side apart from the Spirit Bear.
Okay, they take the riskier choice here. Sleesel just goes right on in. They'll start doing what damage you can, but Dazzle has the weave, scouts it out.
Back off then.
Now they really don't want to fight, but Relic there with the ultimate. Z-Freak jumps in, but takes a lot of damage straight away. The all-heal from Chen and the Grave. He gets a double on the Silencer and the Tide. Looked a little rocky at the start, but Complexity come out big again with 2 key kills, and now they'll claim Road for themselves. Talk about a backfire for Team Wheel.
Silencer getting caught there means there was no global. They have to have the global to stand a chance in that fight. Really good initiation from your Axe, and just scouting well as well. The squeeze, weave onto the Roche pit, found Wheel as they snuck in. That's where it felt like the safer play for Wheel is to go for that smoke gank, try catch a pickoff or two, and then go for Roshan. If Complexity buy back to contest Roche, okay, you maybe stop it, but going straight in is very much like, let's just hope they don't scout this and we happen to sneak this, and did not work.
So glancing at the graph now, it should be Complexity coming back into the lead. Yeah, this game's been all over the place, very topsy-turvy. coL need to be careful though. Wheel, 2 heroes on the way back up. All of them have their ultis except Zeus. And it looks like they will back up.
TP top to farm a little bit further here. The Vlad's Frontiers could be probably online fairly soon, but they've got a good duration on this Aegis, so it's not like they're in a rush to end things immediately here. They can still hold out, spend their money. That Lina's got 3.2k gold. Mentioned the Lone Druid Vlads. And even Z-Freak getting closer and closer to a BKB to go with his Blink Blade Mail.
All right, Lina's the one with the Aegis right now. 3,200 gold up on Swindle Melons. We'll see what he wants to invest in next. Could be something like a Scythe of Vice, a Blink Dagger, never really a bad choice on Lina.
Good game for a BKB as well. Get out of the global and dodge a Ravage, Zeus nukes.
That's true. No BKBs on the way for Complexity, except the Axe. Looks like Z-Freak started his quest now with the Ogre Club. So Dazzle will get a really big item pickup here. That's a Yule's Scepter on the Shadow Priest. Wow, he's found some money.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah. Though, I guess you can say the same thing for the Dire side. Now Jug, he has an Eye of Scotty. Sleesel's farm still pretty good. 4k gold on Relic's Zeus, and even Mike starting to find a little bit of extra money. This Silencer, 1 piece away from that refresher.
Oh, yeah.
That is a big one. And he does have the mana pool. Silencer, one of few heroes that can actually just rush the refresher, because you do steal that int, gives you that little bit extra intel, and depending on how good your early game is, you usually get away with the actual double global. Assuming he doesn't hit 16 anytime soon.
I'll go find the Chen here. That's a quick, easy pickoff. Okay.
Uh-oh, they're going to follow up here. Now Swindle, he walks right into a Ravage Omni Slash. The Dazzle can't even grave himself. Now Swindle falls. He does have the Aegis, but coming back up, I don't see too much hope that he's going to be able to survive this one. Jug just stops off for a couple of yummy Chen creeps before they go on to Swindle. Down he goes. It's going to be the Jug that gets credit for that one. Double kill coming out for him.
Broke through the Aegis as well on top of that with the Lina going down. So really nice kills for Team Wheel. They used the Zeus ulti well. They found the Chen, and then they're like, okay, let's see who else is there with the Zeus ulti. They scouted 2 heroes on the high ground, knew they could take the fight with the Ravage plus Omni Slash, and Complexity gonna get caught split up unnecessarily there. This is the stage of the game where they want to be grouped up as 5 and not let Jug do what he just did, which is find those quick, easy couple of pickoffs with an Omni Slash.
Okay, so Wheel
the
now
other
they're
way.
on the aggressive. They want a couple of towers here. Thinking about this tier 2 in the mid lane. Lone Druid comes in to make a defense. He does have his Vladimir's up now. Tide clearing out the Radiant Ancients, and okay, they will just back out. Wheel hanging in there now, 31 minutes in. Still a very even game. Even though Complexity have this pushing core lineup that really wants to try and knock down towers and do some crippling damage early on, their late game is not too bad either. Lone Druid can scale very, very well. So does the Axe, Dazzle, even the Lina. All scale pretty decently here. I'd say both teams with pretty comparable late game.
Yeah, I think there's enough physical damage for both teams. Probably slightly better coming out from your Jug compared to your Lone Druid. The one weakness on the Lone Druid is that this bear, even when it gets like maxed out on items, you're kind of limited to play around the cooldown of the Spirit Bear. You kill it off once or twice and suddenly it's out of the picture. You've really got to protect the Spirit Bear, which is hard to do when you're trying to have it in the front lines, sieging and pushing.
Oh, it is doing a lot of damage to this tier 3 tower mid. Wheel will save the glyph until the tower is one hit from death. Glyphed out, and Complexity didn't really have to do much to do that. They go for the deny. It does get whiffed. Importantly, though, the tower is down bare. Getting pretty low. He does have a resummon if it goes down. I think Complexity continue pressing their luck here. Oh, refresher on Silencer. Z-Freak hops in, catches Sleesel, but takes a lot of damage in return. Laguna comes out. They will bring him down. Oh, no. You're right. He doesn't. He's trying to toggle the boots, but he can't do it. Now the all-heal from Chen flies through. The Silencer heading back to the well, but it's just going to be too late. Now the Earthshaker's fallen. Buyback on him and the Jug. They get the ranged barracks. And now Complexity will just back the hell out. There is mana for that second global. Z-Freak getting low. The damage from Zeus really adding up. One more bolt will bring him down, but the Battle Hunger is there to let him get out. Mike throws a Ravage, but it doesn't seem to make much of a difference. One of them gets sent back home. Squee will get left behind with his Shallow Grave on. And it looks like he will be the one to fall. But talk about mitigating your losses there. Losing only a Dazzle. I think Complexity can be pretty happy with that.
The double Ravage as well being used. There is one global silence from the Silencer if they want to go take a push, but as soon as Dazzle's back, and maybe even earlier, they'll just start pushing out and group up and do the same thing. They're going to have the BKBs ready. They're going to be able to take a team fight with Ravage on cooldown, I feel. And the buybacks being down as well really make this hard for Will. It's very risky for them. If they take a fight and lose it, it's pretty much game over now. Derp still with no Blink Dagger and his Earthshaker makes it really hard for him to get off any kind of a good Echo Slam. He's just sit back and try and get the best fissure possible, but he is 1,800 net worth. Oh my.
And he's just nowhere close. Soul Ring with 300 gold on Brown Boots at that. He just has absolutely nothing. Certainly the weak link. You look at the supports for Complexity, and well, they're both 6, 7K, sitting pretty here. I guess it does all level out with that Silencer having a lot more farm, though, having that Hand of Midas. Duty definitely playing the Forg this game and making the most out of it. Now even getting a Staff of Wizardry.
So I think they will be, yeah, they're going to look to make a play. It's not going to be a straight up, well, maybe straight up push, but they're smoked up behind the Lone Druid here. They'll be looking for a pick off if possible with this, and there's no tier 2 towers at top or bottom, so if they win a fight or get a couple kills, top and bottom lane are both right for the taking as well.
Do they charge right into the mid? Do they go for a wraparound? How does Complexity
Blink
want
Call
to do this?
Z-Freak would love to find that defensive weave, and if he can find the Blink Call, okay, Zeus ulti scouts him out.
And they will just retreat. So that is a good use. No, that's not even the ult. That was just a lightning bolt. Okay. Zeus still with the ultimate here, but they will just put the bear on the high ground. Ziz does not have a resummon for about 5 seconds, but Z-Freak goes in. Laguna onto Silencer. He's got a global, but it doesn't matter. No buyback on him, out of the game for a minute. Z-Freak will use his 10-second BKB to escape, but a great jump from Complexity.
Some dubious positioning coming out from Silencer. Like, your one job in these fights is to get for global silence, and the only way that doesn't happen if you're on the front lines and get caught by that Blink Call, and that's a few too many times it's happened.
Go back into the mid lane. Now melee barracks go down. Dire still without a glyph. Complexity may want to consider just rotating to another lane and continue putting the pressure on. Swindle now uses his BKB as Mike hops out. We're looking for a Ravage. Fast fingers from Swindle, maybe too fast, as it ends up being kind of a wasted BKB there, as nothing really comes of it.
We got the melee racks, though, because they'd only previously done the range one, so it's worth coming back, committing all that just to get the melee racks and then backing off. It looks like Sleeves are going to catch up the Chen in the jungle. Omni Slash just for Zizou, who actually gives up his body.
Yeah. Little unfortunate there. Hoping for the RNG to bounce on creeps.
It kind of worked. It was bouncing to the creeps, but then he didn't move his hero away, so it bounced back.
Yeah.
Playing from Romania, maybe some ping issues.
Yeah, Sleesel rolling the dice there, but I guess figuring he could chase him down even if the Omni doesn't finish off the kill. Now the Jug will move into a Skull Basher, and it is right around the corner. Second refresher comes out for Wheel, and it's on Relic. The little old man now with a double ultimate. No Aghanims to upgrade it yet, but huge damage potential from this Zeus. He has really been a big contributor for his team this game. 5-1 and 8, still only 1 death on this hero.
If you're Will, you're just telling your Silence Will, dude, just sit at Fountain if you have to. Make sure you get off a double global in this next team fight. Cannot afford to have him getting caught out. You've got to get those ultis off. And Relic, oh no, he's being caught out. He does not have buyback as well. This is really costly.
Oh, he just went all in on that refresher. With the Bloodstone, though, only down for 40 seconds. Could be a lot worse for Wheel.
Could be a Roach, though, which, I mean, that is pretty bad. It's going to be an Aegis, probably on Lina again, maybe even going through it. I guess we could take the cheese.
That's just unlucky. If Roche was down, wouldn't have been the biggest death, but perfect time to find a gank if you're a Complexity fan out there. Now Illusions come into the pit. They'll see that they're doing Roche, and Wheel just hand it over, knowing there's not much they can do without Omni Slash or Zeus. So, yep, Aegis goes to Swindle again. Cheese will go to the Lone Druid. So LD here, getting some of that yummy cheese.
Radiant's top tower
now
is under
the next
attack.
push that's going to be coming is going to be kind of hard to deal with. For now, they're going to fall back, not going to rush into things just yet. The current gold on a lot of the Radiant heroes is kind of getting to the point where they can actually start picking up their next item or so. Maybe Lina wants to replace the bottle and get a Blink Dagger, get a late game Shadow Blade can be really nice, even against the Zeus scouting. Just having that kind of roaming potential for Lina to find an initiation or a pickoff.
Well, BKB is coming to plenty for Complexity. Their third one gets picked up now on the Lone Druid to join Z-Freak and Swindle Melons.
For the bear, it looks, yeah, for the actual Spirit Bear.
Yep, I think so.
Put it on the front lines, don't have to worry about it getting fissured, gushed, zapped, and you just kind of, it's like a just brute force, let's siege another lane of Rack. You pop BKB, and that's probably a dead tier 3 tower unless you flip it.
The Panda Bear, what the hell's coming out of its mouth? Is that supposed to be just like ferocious drool? Like, I'm foaming at the mouth. It looks like he's got a worm hanging out of his mouth or something. It's kind of weird.
It's like an extension of the fangs.
Yeah, it's like the stringiest drool I've ever seen. It's pretty
Is it the Vlad's maybe? Or
I wonder if that is part of the aura. I don't know. I don't usually zoom in on the bear, but I just noticed he's got this
the
like,
portrait picture looks normal.
Yeah, and then he's just slobbing around all over the place. Like, close your mouth, bear. Come on. Complexity, though, they want to end this game sooner rather than later. They know they've got the edge right now. They're ahead with the biggest lead we've seen this game, nearly 10,000 net worth, 5,000 experience. And with Aegis Cheese, this is your time to strike. But BKB is still pretty healthy, and well, now definitely the time to strike. A full Scythe of Vice up on the Lina. This is a big item pickup and still hasn't been revealed, so could catch Wheel a little bit off guard.
Have the courier nearby. Swindle wants to, there we go, pop his DD rune and take the Hex, so this is going to be tough push to hold here. They've got the refresher on Silencer and Zeus. They've got to get good ultis off with these, but with BKBs on the Radiant side, and it's just been Axe getting the better initiations. All he's got to do is catch one hero with a Blink coL, catch a Silencer, catch a Zeus, whoever it may be, and as long as you're BKB, that hero is going to die. If you're Wheel, you can't really go in with the Blink Ravage until you're kind of guaranteed to hit at least kind of 2 or 3 heroes, ideally more. Well, they're going to be forced in. There's your BKB from the Spirit Bear. All they've got is the Glyph now. And
okay. Glyph on cooldown. That's still a victory for Complexity.
Yep.
Bear will lose his BKB, but goes in to finish off the tower. Will bring it down.
Heal it back up and kind of rinse repeat. Even without the BKB, still a lot of potential to just chip away at these racks here. They've got the double bear, so they've
also got the ice armor buff on top of it, so the bear beefier than usual. Smoke from Wheel. I think it was in range, though, of what the bear could see. Complexity should be pretty aware of this. Sleesel just goes in right onto the Spirit Bear. He goes down. They almost get that first barracks. Big Ravage from Mike, followed up by the Global. Relic refreshes off to the side. They will lose their Silencer, but Dazzle's also gone down. Now the Omni Slash bouncing around this Radiant side right as creeps come in. All heal from Chen as well. Sleesel in an awkward position gets slammed, dunked. Now the rest of the team to follow up. A big echo from Derp. Lots of AoE damage coming onto Team Complexity. They'll lose their Aegis. Swindle coming back to life. Maybe they can try and turn this around. Derp caught by entangling claws, and he'll fall. Relic and Mike still continuing to chase them out. Z-Freak low, but still alive. Sleesel, did he buy back for this? It looks like he did. He wants to find some recovery kills. Mike now blinking on forward, has no gush to slow him down. TP out from Zyz, TP out from Z-Freak. It's just Swindle that's left behind.
He's got a Laguna in 7, though. He may turn and try and make a play happen. No.
Okay, uses the Yules there on the Zeus. Mike will chase him down. Hex now onto the Jug. Oh, he misses the LSA. The blink forward from Relic. They'll end his spree. And Relic is the one to get credit for it. A very awkward fight, but Wheel, I think, undoubtedly coming out ahead there. They finish off the Aegis. They do have to buy back the Jug. It's an even trade on net worth, but they make a pretty good hold.
And just prioritize, like, as soon as they can kill the Spirit Bear, they will do so. They killed the first time, even after it got resummoned. Jug, when he brought back, he focused a lot of his time on killing that Spirit Bear, which got killed a second time and was taken out of the picture there, so. Great jump from Mike, though. That Blink Ravage, 4 heroes caught inside of it. Easy double, or didn't even need the second Global Silence. GoDz just still had the second one. I don't know if he died and didn't get it off or had mana problems, but yeah, that's, I guess, kind of good news. It means if they take another fight fairly soon, they'll have in 50 seconds Ravage as well as Global.
Okay. This game's still very even, though, Parker. Even though Complexity are holding on to this lead, I feel like we're getting to the stage of the game where the graphs really don't matter all that much. Unless one of these carries really starts to pull away in terms of net worth, it's just more about cooldown management and initiation. That seems to be what every fight comes down to. Who gets the better jump? If it's Z-Freak in there with a great Berserker's Call, it seems Complexity can follow up for some success. But if that Axe can't jump in at the right time, or Mike gets a Ravage like he did in that last fight, it's all Wheel all day, baby.
Not sure how you can. I hope for those Ravages for the rest of the game, but Complexity had the BKBs. If they'd been a bit faster, maybe to respond with that. I guess they're waiting for the Global Silence to BKB, so if they BKB to dodge the Ravage, then they all get silenced and they can't get out of it. But at least they can back off and not get killed by it. So we'll see what the next move's going to be. For Complexity, they're kind of reaching that point where most of their heroes have peaked out as far as items go. I mean, Lina is pretty much there, has that one empty item slot. But Lone Druid, similar story, is starting to buy items for his hero.
What do you go last item on Lina here?
Refresher, I think.
Okay.
Depends. If it's going to take too long to farm the refresh and you want to have an item that's good now, you get the blink. But I think refresher is your ideal last item.
3,600 gold up on Z-Freak. Maybe thinking about a Shiva's Guard at some point here. And the Bear now has a Basher, so could be looking at an Abyssal at some point here. Zyz also has a Blade Mail on the Druid himself, so starting to beef up on his primary hero and having some return damage in case they do jump on him. That's 2 Blade Mails now on his Radiant side. Is Chen also closing in on his next big item. It's that Aghanim Scepter, 400 gold away, and there is the blink after all.
I think they want to go now, though, because there's no glyph, and they've got the BKB Bear. That's at least a ranged Rax. The melee Rax, I don't know if we brought down during it's a 9-second BKB, but it's at least a melee Rax, and I feel like they could even prioritize going for, at least a range Rax, but they could prioritize the melee Rax here with this. But they've wasted a lot of time. That glyph is coming back up in less than a minute, so if they wanted to go for it, the time was kind of already passed. I guess in theory, if we'll just get that blink initiation past the Bear and do what they did last time, it doesn't matter if you get a Rax out of it. If you lose another big team fight, you could find yourself pretty screwed.
Okay. They will let the glyph come back, it looks like. They kind of rotate through the dire jungle, clear out some creeps, and what are Complexity waiting for right now? Is it just the Chen Aghanims? That's the only item they have on the horizon that's really, really close. I don't know if that's that much of a game breaker, though. It's certainly a good item, but do you want to delay this push just for that? Maybe waiting out the next Roche cycle, but
I don't think that's the item they're waiting for. I mean, it's going to come up just naturally, but it's not like, okay, we got the Chen Ags, we got a Grant Golem, let's go push again.
Yeah.
It doesn't strike me as...
Maybe Roche number 4 is what they want. We'll see what that timer looks like in just about 20 seconds. So maybe they'll get lucky and it's a fast Roche respawn. Mike with 3,700 gold. If he wants a refresher, he can pick it up before too long. Now Blink Force F on him. Even this Earthshaker, we talked about how broke Derp was. And he's about 2/3 of the way to that Blink. Still very broke.
45 minutes, yeah.
Still very broke, but
no.
The Blink Dagger is always a good item. It never really gets bad. So Roche, it's a pretty fast respawn. Less than a minute past the initial timer. About 50 seconds from now, he'll be coming back up. And it seems like Complexity won't be pushing before then. So maybe we'll see another fight break out around the Roche pit. Though this is scary. Wheel, they're ready for it. They've got the double global. Now an Atos even on the silencer. I like this choice. A good item in general, but gives him some really valuable intelligence that he needs.
He needs the mana.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got like a super, like, normally an item you want early on because it falls off with the
I feel like he
cripple,
got it
but-
almost just for the stats and the easy build-up.
Yeah, that was kind of when he picked up. I was like, is Atos really that useful? I mean, the stats are great, but like, I guess you can just spam the cripple on the bear.
Yeah.
If the bear's taking damage, it can't back off using the fast phase movement speed.
Zeus popping his ult, making sure that Complexity aren't hanging out in the Roche pit. Chen will just go ahead and pop the ulti to counteract it now that the Aghanims is up. And he finds himself one of those derpy-looking granite golems. Okay, 10% HP, or 15% rather, to your whole team. Always a good pickup.
So Jug's got that Roche. I don't think Complexity have yet, but they gotta at least be concerned and know that's coming up soon. So yeah,
Ooh.
Chen's creep will go spotted out.
And there's a kobold here. That's the dream for a Chen. You need that movement speed aura when you have these big creeps. Look how slow this big boy is. 270. I've seen some Chens do that where they get like the Ice Ogre, the Granite Golem, and then they just grab that kobold to follow them
At
around.
this stage of the game, you go purely for like the aura creeps, the Centaur stun, Shockwave, and all these other things like Tornado plus 2 or 3 armor creep. Like, who cares? It's the 15% HP. Ice armor is great in the late game. It's actually 8 armor. It's a ridiculous amount of armor.
Yep.
Combined with the slow.
And the slow, yeah. Also slows attack speed. The debuff is absolutely
30%
fantastic.
movement speed. I didn't even realize it was that high. That is a lot of move speed
It's
slow on the
really
ice
good.
armor.
I'd say the Ice Ogre is one of the most underrated creeps to grab out of the jungle. He looks a little goofy, but his spells are good. So hanging on to a Satyr Tormentor for now, and also has that Thunderclap. Another good one, of course, the attack speed slow. Big movement slow. And it's this. The Hellbear has the Swiftness aura. Yeah, I forgot about that change.
Yeah.
Took it from the Centaur.
It's kind of an aura that's not as potent now that we're this. It's 15 attack speed at this stage of the game is pretty minimal.
It's pretty much nothing.
So, I guess you just take whatever big creep you can get beyond that. Zeus ulti will scout out this smoke though. Give vision around the heroes who were smoked, so it kind of reveals to Wheel where they are on the map.
Great time to use that Zeus ult, but 2 big items picked up. A refresher on the axe. He'll have a double dunk now in case he misses it. Double Berserker's Call as well.
Mike's ready with his refresher though around the pit.
And also an Abyssal now out on the Lone Druid. Some huge items here. This could be a potentially game-winning / losing fight depending on who takes it. Radiant will have creeps pushing into the mid, but I think Wheel with the advantage in this kind of an area. So it's this awkward dance around the pit where neither side really wants to just walk in with the opposition still alive. They will see Wheel rotating towards the mid lane to defend. Complexity sees this as an opportunity to maybe venture into the pit, but still very risky.
They're not going to catch Wheel out by surprise though.
They do have vision at least. Radiant vision we're looking at here. There's your Ravage from Mike. Ravage number 1 refreshes Ravage number 2. Swindle and Z-Freak pop their BKBs. Z-Freak, he'll refresh. Goes back onto Sleesel. Can they actually bring him down? No, he gets off the Omni Slash. Mike doing what damage he can. All heal from Chen just doesn't matter. They'll lose their Shaker, but Chen's already fallen. And it looks like Wheel might be able to start taking this fight. No, Z-Freak reinitiates. They find kills on Goody as well as IX Mike. Now Relic on the rod. Zapped by the Lina. Dunked again. It's a 1 for 4. Buyback now on the Shaker, but Complexity. They take it through all of the ultimates.
Wheel out of 10 seconds on your Zeus. He's just short on gold, which he'll have soon enough, but huge team fights from there. The refresher on the axe gave him such a long BKB duration. That ended up being crucial. The Blade Mail on Ziz did a ton of damage as well, and they're going straight for the thrones.
This is the right call here. Without buybacks available, even with Zeus buying back here. No Ravage, no Thundergoth's Wrath, no Omni Slash. What do? Jug buys a BKB so we can look at it at the score screen.
Really bad. There's a double Spirit Bear as well. This is all over. Complexity are going to take game 1.
The Glyph is already down. Sleesel runs in, BKB on. They zap Relic for good measure, and that's it. GG is called as the throne gets exploded. And Complexity take it.
That Roche fight, Mike's Ravages were okay. The problem is, like, you blink him with the Ravages, it's not always finding kills. He caught the Jug in the, or not the Jug, he caught the Bear in the pit as well as the Dazzle. Neither of those 2 heroes died. There was no follow-up damage for the Ravages. There was, like, 2 fights going on at once. And the fight where Mike was needed was the other fight where the Lina as well as Zeus were getting jumped upon by the axe.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. I mean, just wow. Even without a perfect Ravage there, I was just thinking they could brute force it almost at that point. Wheel having double Ravage, double Global. Very impressive from Complexity, I think. We don't see this kind of draft that often with the Chen Lone Druid kind of turbo pushing. Considered pretty risky in this meta, but they made it work.
They made it work, and they take game 1. This is, I mean, what, 72% favored on Wheel on the bets, and
I call shenanigans on that, man.
Whew.
That's jacked up. Value bets today. All right, so we're going to have a quick break, guys. Then game number 2 right around the corner. This is elimination, so now Wheel, man, they need this one if they want to stay alive. Someone's dreams are getting shattered tonight. Stick around and figure out which team it'll be.